Hey there, welcome. My name is Brandon Gum. Today we're going to be looking at a pretty cool workflow that you can use to take manufacturer models and get them aligned to your coordinate system. So we're going to be using some pretty slick features in Revit to help us acquire the correct coordinates in CAD. This job can be, if you don't have the right workflow or approach, it can be pretty much, it could be impossible for a lot of people. Or you could spend up to 8 hours figuring it out. So I think you're going to learn a lot in this video. Essentially what I'm showing you here is we've got step files that came in from the manufacturer, file type.stp, and we've converted them to DWGs via the Autocad import process. And so now we need to align them to our 3D models coordinate system. And they're each going to be in there. Each one of these pieces of equipment is its own DWG. So you can actually see here on this Navisworks model that I built, this is kind of what I'm working with. I've actually already rearranged some of this stuff so it's in the correct location. But now we're going to go ahead and we're going to leverage kind of some of the tools that we have with Revit and go from there. All right, so the very first thing that I've done is actually we're going to come back over here to AutoCAD. And so I've actually taken all these models and I brought them all in here as XREFs. They are 3D right now. I'm not going to show that to you. It's going to take too long for it to pan. Essentially what I did though is I didn't actually copy. I actually take this and I do the flat shot command. When I do the flat shot command, it gives me one big block of all of these. I then burst it and then I create a block for each piece of equipment. So with the bursted selection set, I would then make this a block and this a block. Obviously not on the 3D's model side, but you know the 2D geometry. So if you're not familiar with flat shot, go ahead, give it a look. Pretty powerful tool. It is much better than the flatten commands. And it can give you a 2D representation of your blocks that is dependent on the current view. So if I do it right now, it's going to give it to me in the top view. If I do it from another view, it's going to give it to me from a side view or you know what have you. So then I took each one of these, and so right now these are individual blocks, and I have then constructed them to the lineup that they are based off what I showed you here earlier. And so now our big problem is let's get this aligned to the correct coordinate system. Once this is aligned to the correct coordinate system, I can then figure out essentially the coordinates of this block right here, and I can go into its respective model and I can publish the coordinates to that. You could also cut out some of these steps here. This is the very first time that I've actually done this process before. So you know, everything I'm going to show you may not be the most efficient or the best practice, but you know, the workflow that I'm going to be teaching you is going to be leaps and bounds ahead of pretty much any other workflow. So what we want to do is we want to come into our Revit master model. And so I actually have a site plan here, and I'll just show you the 3D view right now. So, you know, I've got this main building over here, and I've got some equipment that I've brought in. Now, the equipment that we're talking about today is actually going to be mating up to the last piece of equipment that you see here. Well, actually, mating up to the very first piece of equipment, so this guy. And what I've done is I've come in here to the architectural site plan, and I have linked in via the managed links. I've linked in that 2D this 2D drawing. You can see that it's the flue gas underscore 2D. And so what we're going to do is we are going to and so you know, the best way to link in CAD, never import, always do manage links. Manage links, it is a direct link manager versus the other one literally imports it as, you know, native line work and stuff like that in Revit, and cancel your model down. So we import it, we then move it and rotate it so that it's meshing up with whatever we have. And so at that point, you're going to come over here to manage. And at this point, what we want to do is we want to publish the coordinates of that of our site. We want to publish the coordinates, the 0 point, to that drawing. And so it's pretty typical to do this for whenever you have a site plan with several buildings on it. Typically, you want them all to share the same coordinate system. So Revit has some pretty cool features for that. And it is you're able to acquire and publish coordinates. So when we publish, we are pushing out the coordinate system that Revit has to the target object. Or if we do acquire, we would literally be acquiring the origin of whatever file it is. So you know, let's say you can see my origin points are right here in Revit right now. Well, if I use the acquire and I select that DWG, it would acquire it would move my origin point in Revit to the origin point of the DWG, which is actually, you know, right smack in the it's like right here, I think, and we can check that again by just coming over here to CAD, and you can see right now my 0 point is right here. So that's where it would acquire if you use the acquire. So what I've done is I do have a shared site coordinate system set up in this model. So that's important. All my buildings share the same coordinate system. So I'm just going to come up here to publish coordinates. We're going to select that link. You're going to get this dialog box, and you can see that I've actually already named it internal CAD. And what's unique about this is if we do something similar on a Revit link, you can see here my list is actually different. And so just go ahead, hit OK, save your model. Once you save your model, it's then going to ask you, hey, do you want me to push these coordinates out to CAD? Because it actually hasn't done that yet. It actually has not saved to that CAD file yet. So you're just going to, once you hit, yeah, like please push those out, it will push them out, come back into CAD and take a look at your file. And you'll notice that it's actually still the 0, 0 coordinate. Okay, well, it sounds like it didn't work. But if you read the documentation on how publish works in terms of DWGs, what it does is it actually creates a user coordinate system for you. So if you're not familiar with user coordinate systems, go ahead and give it a look. But if I change it to this, check this out. See, now this building is going to be located relative to my shared site coordinate system. And you're not able to see the 0, 0 points. You would think that maybe you'd see it someplace over here. The reason why you're not seeing it over there right now, most of the models that you do this on, you probably see it where you think you're going to see it. I actually have my survey point here is actually, oops, just get out of that command altogether. My survey point here is actually has been unclipped and moved to the state plane coordinate system. So my 0, 0 point is actually like 100 miles over in this direction, and that is what. So a little bit of nuance there, but if you did not unclip your survey point and your survey point reads 0, 0 there, you're good to go. So hope this helps. It's a pretty powerful workflow for acquiring the correct coordinates. I'm not familiar of a similar strategy that you can do directly in AutoCAD, but you can see if we just come back and we just look at this in AutoCAD, you can quickly see that if you needed each one of these individual XREFs to be in the correct coordinate system, you could line them up in here, and it could be very difficult then to translate that back out to the respective drawing that it's in, and it can become very difficult very quickly. So I think you'll find a lot of value in this. If this helped you, I'm glad I could. If you got any questions, just let me know.